Akbar's administration. Akbar provided a very good system of administration. This continued all through the Mughal period with a very few changes. Mughal administration under Akbar was centralized. He was the fountainhead of all the power. The Mughal emperor was called Padishah or Badshah. Remember the name? The Mughal emperor was called as Padishah or Badshah. This Akbar was considered as shadow of God, and he ruled in accordance with Islamic principles. Emperor had cabinet of minister. Which emperor? This Mughal emperor had a cabinet of minister who helped him in the matters of administration. Some of the important ministers in the cabinet of ministers were Wakil, chief minister, Diwan-e-Ali, finance minister, Mir Bakshi, official for the distribution of salaries, Sadr-us-Sadr, in charge of charities, Khan-e-Saman, home minister, Dewan, revenue minister, etc., Qazi, chief justice. So these are all the important ministers. All of them means these ministers work under emperor's guidance. Means Akbar could dismiss any of the minister at any time. Akbar's empire consisted of 16 provinces called Sabhas. So the provinces of Akbar's were called as Sabhas. So each Sabhas or each provinces was headed by a governor called Sabadar. He was held responsible for collection of revenue and maintaining law and order. Some of the important officers of the provinces or Sabhas were Diwan, Bakshi, Sadr, Faujdar, Kotwal, Qazi, etc. Sabhas were further divided into sarkars, or you can tell as districts, and again into paraganas or taluk. So he tells that Akbar has 16 provinces. For each and every province there will be a governor named as Sabadar. So these provinces were again subdivided into sarkar, or you tell as district. So these districts were again subdivided into paraganas or taluk. Kotwals known as a fort controller, or one who controlled the forts. Kotwals were in charge of city administration. Village was the lowest unit of administration. The administration of the village was carried out by the village panchayat. The Mansabdari system, and it is very much important, listen carefully. Akbar introduced a new system of military and civil administration known as Mansabdari system. The word Mansab means rank or position. In the sense, this Mansabdari system was originated from the Persian concept Nasab Kardan. It means fixing a particular person to a particular place. That's what we are telling as a soldier. Mansabdars were therefore holders of these places or ranks in the services of the king. In 1571 CE, Akbar, with the help of his official for the distribution of salary known as Mir Bakshi, as we have seen earlier in the list of administration, it tells that Mir Bakshi is an official for distribution of salaries. So here tells that in 1571 CE, Akbar, with the help of his Mir Bakshi, set up the Mansabdar system. The Mansabdars could be transferred from one place to another. There were various ranks of Mansabdars who commanded 10 to 10,000 soldiers. In later times, this number went up to 50,000. All the officers of the kingdom held mansabs and had to recruit a certain number of soldiers under them. The emperor could appoint, promote, and dismiss mansabdars at his will. The Mansabdar system consisted of Zat and Savar. Zat indicated the number of soldiers a mansabdar was expected to maintain. So it tells that how many numbers of soldiers, while Savar meant the actual number of horsemen that he maintained. I hope you got the meaning. The salaries of Mansabdars were high. They were generally not paid in cash, but were allotted jagirs. Jagirs means feudal land yielding their respective salaries. Listen carefully. As time passed, some of the Mansabdars or these soldiers became powerful and troubled the emperor Akbar. Akbar was dependent upon Mansabdars for military support, as his standing army consisted only 25,000 soldiers. Next, revenue system of Raja Todarmal. So this term you have heard before in Rajput policy. If you turn page number 16, you can see that the important Rajput commander of Akbar were Raja Todarmal, Raja Mansingh, Raja Bhagwandas and others. So let's know about the policy or revenue system of Raja Todarmal. He is one of the commander of Akbar. Akbar set up an excellent land revenue system. In the year 1581, Akbar's revenue minister Raj Todarmal reorganized the whole land revenue system. This system was also known as Zabti system or Ain Dal Sala. The revenue policies of Alauddin Khilji and Sher Shah Sur formed the base for Mughal revenue policy. The chief features of this revenue system or Zabti system, or you can tell as Ain Dal Sala, are: according to this system, land was measured and classified on the basis of fertility of soil as Polaj, land always in cultivation. Number 1, Polaj, the land always in cultivation. Number 2, Parauti, land which was left to fallow or uncultivated for 1 or 2 years. Number 3, Chachar, land is left uncultivated for 3 to 4 years. Banjar, land that was not cultivated for over 5 years. Based on the average crop grown for 10 years, the revenue was fixed, and it was 1/3 of average produce. The revenue could be paid in cash or kind. Todarmal or Raj Todarmal's Bandobast system. In the harvest season, the officials went round, examined the condition of agricultural lands and offered suitable suggestions to the farmers. The government gave loans to the farmers. They could be repaid in installments. This was called as Bandobast system. So remember, these are points.